Hey, welcome back. It's been quite a journey this week. So I had a harebrained idea and uh, harebrained, okay? No, anyway. Um, I had the idea that we could go and maybe buy a house. Now we're planning on moving in July. I found a house. It was relatively inexpensive. The down payment on the house was reasonable. And again, this was an inexpensive house. It was supposed to be RFO, ready for occupancy, in July. Well, that's the time frame we plan on moving. Uh, we're moving to another province, going to get out of the Metro Manila. I think anybody that's followed me long enough would know I'm not the biggest fan of Metro Manila. Now, for services and goods, yeah, Metro Manila has just about everything you want. For things that you don't want, like traffic, crowding, high prices, Metro Manila has that too. So we planned on moving out. And I had the harebrained idea, well, hey, let's buy a house. My wife can get financed on it. It wouldn't be much. I'm not going to name prices. So I looked into it, and the pictures look fabulous. There, I'll show you one of the pictures. So the price was below what I felt the average house of that size of 109 square meters on a 143 square meter lot. Now, I make no secrets out of the fact that I don't like firewalled houses. Might as well live in a townhouse. This was an unattached house. Now, this was a relatively lower priced house. Cheap. Yeah, birds talk about me too. Um, cheap. So for a 109 square meter house on a 143 square meter lot, I felt like it was probably a pretty doggone good deal. Anything else comparable in either of the cities north or south of where this house was would be a lot more. And I thought, well, hey, I get out of the city, either one of the cities, and be in a rural area. Awesome. So I contacted the agent and we talked, and yeah, the house was supposed to be RFO, ready for occupancy in July. Perfect time frame for us. A down payment was money that I could afford. Uh, Reservation fee was substantially less than that. And he started in with, oh, I've got other buyers coming to look at it and things like that. I fell for it. So I talked to my wife and she says, yep, let's look into this. And I says, okay, when can you go up there? She says, Wednesday, Philippine time. Uh, so I told the agent, hey, my wife will be up there on Wednesday to take a look at it. We have family members that live close by, and they can come by and help her with the decision. Oh, but sir, we've got other people coming to look at it. So, like a dummy, I jumped the gun. I told my wife, hey, give the guy half the reservation fee. Actually, it was more than what was advertised for the reservation fee. So, yeah, over ambitious, over eager. Yeah, I learned my lesson on that. So we gave the agent a little bit of money. The deal was he was representing somebody else who owned the property, and the house was still under construction in the finishing touches, and we would get it then. Okay, so my wife, she rode up with her mom and dad because they were curious. I mean, they support us in what we're doing. I love them for it. They're great people, and they drove up, took my wife up. She doesn't drive yet, yet. Um, So they met her brother and sister-in-law who have dealings with real estate, and yeah, they all met, looked at the house. My brother-in-law come on video with me because I had my wife live stream it, and he said, "Bro," he says, "you're not going to be happy with this place." And he walked up the stairs and looked down the stairs, and you see the walls were just wavy. And I said, "Ooh," and the walls were plywood. Now, they build majority of the houses in the Philippines with block and concrete. Interior walls are sometimes lighter materials just because it's cheap. Okay. Yeah, I could probably have lived with that. Now, we weren't looking for that to be our forever home. As most of you know, I got my house up for sale. So I don't know how long that's going to take. I'll get into the economics of what's going on in the U.S. here at the end of this. But I figured, well, this would be a good starter home. And then when my house sells, we can pay the house off and it's free and clear. Then we've got time to go and look to either buy or build our forever home. And that was a game plan. Hey, looked good on paper, right? So yeah, that he walked outside and he walked around the house, my brother-in-law did, and there were gaps in the concrete in between where the stairs came down and the driveway came together, gaps like this. Now, any gaps in concrete, water's just going to pour in there, and then it's going to lift it and separate it, and you're going to have nothing but problems forever. And one of the windows didn't even fit the opening correctly. The frame was about that far. Yeah, okay. About that far. There was a gap. He could literally get his fingers started in the gap between the window and the frame. And I was like, are you kidding me? Is it closed? And he showed me the lock. Yeah, it was locked. It was latched. And I thought, boy, this house really has some problems. So as my brother-in-law and his wife started talking to the agent, and actually the owner showed up. She is a school teacher, I guess, and she showed up, and that's when everything started to unravel. Oh, yeah. So let me give you some cautionary tales about this. Okay, if you are going to buy a house, you may not have the backup support group like I have. Thank God I have them. The next home that we look at, now that's going to be down the road. The next house that we look at, not only will I have my support group, and thank you, my support group, for being there for us, but I will also get a real estate attorney, because in the story of this owner of the house was not quite the full owner. She was financing the house to be built with her boyfriend. They split up. She needed to sell. The house was going to be in both of their names. Okay, it's not a clear title. If you're going to buy a house, make sure it has a clear title. Get a real estate attorney. Make sure that this attorney, and don't get the seller's attorney, get your own. Make sure that it has clear title. Make sure this attorney does due diligence. Make sure that the property has a correct deed. Make sure, and this is really important, make sure that the taxes are paid current. I go through these listings on Facebook all the time, and it says taxes current. Well, that's good. Then I see others that doesn't mention the taxes. It just says to assume. Okay, what you are doing, you are assuming their tax liability for unpaid taxes, and then you're probably assuming their note on the land, and it may be behind in arrears. So a real estate attorney can save you a lot of hassles on all of this. I told you it's quite a mess. Now, I cannot own land. I can have my name on the deed, but I cannot own land. My wife, who's Filipina, the house and the land would be in her name, but my name would also be on the deed. You want to do that because if things go south, she can't just kick you out because your name's on that house too. Even though you're not a full owner, your name is on there. So you have some legal recourse. Again, a real estate attorney can advise you on all of this. So if you're planning on buying a house, make sure that you do your due diligence and that you get a real estate attorney that can also do their due diligence. Lesson learned, and this could have been a costly lesson on my part. I'm embarrassed to say that I was foolish, but I don't want everybody else to be foolish. Now that we've pulled back and we've gotten out of that deal, we're just going to look to rent for right now until my house sells. And we'll get into that now. So as many of you know, I've got a Harley. I've got to get rid of the Harley. I need to sell it. So I took advice of other people. Says, oh, take it to CarMax. They'll buy your Harley. I rode into Salt Lake today. It was 55 miles of a trip. I get to CarMax. I walk in. Hi, are you willing to buy my Harley? Sorry, sir. We can't even sell the cars that we have on our lot. Why would we take on a Harley Davidson motorcycle? We are not a motorcycle dealer. They had 2 motorcycles for sale. The guy says, those bikes have been here since last fall. He says, we can't unload bikes. We can't even unload the cars. Okay, I'm looking at all the car lots. They're full. I remember during the pandemic and during the chip shortages, all the car lots were empty. Now they're full. There's a reason for that. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so I went to one of the other Harley Davidson dealerships. I pull in there. Hi, you willing to buy my bike? As I look around at their full showroom, they says, well, how much do you owe on it? And I says, why don't you tell me what you would give me on it? Because I'm still paying on the bike. It's not ideal, but when I bought the bike, my other bike that I traded in was paid for. So again, another foolish mistake, but that's water under the bridge. That's years past. Basically, I would be giving them the bike. They didn't want to give me anything close to what it's worth because they're having a hard time selling their bikes. So I go to another motorcycle dealership that deals in all makes. It's pretty much just a secondhand store for all kinds of motorcycles. I pull in there. Can't even hardly find a place to park because there's so many bikes there. These are bikes they're selling. And I go, ooh, this may not be good. I walk in. Hi, would you like to buy my Harley Davidson? They looked at me and they just looked around their showroom. They says, and where would we put it? I went to another Harley Davidson dealership. Same routine. No, I came home. I put it up on Facebook Marketplace. I put it up on a local statewide ad website. I'll have to sell it there. Now, I'm down to a week and a half before I fly out. I should have done this a month ago. But I listened to other people. And I was so busy packing Balik Bayon boxes for the past couple of weeks, I have not had time for anything. I shipped last Friday, I believe it was, or Saturday. I can't remember if it's Friday or Saturday. I shipped 8 Balik Bayon boxes. These are jumbos, 24 by 25 by 17. On Wednesday, I shipped 5 more. I showed you the initial 8. I had my guitars and things. I shipped 5 more. That's 13. I have 2 more. And I'm looking around my house, and I mean, I've got this on cinematic mode because everything behind me, it looks like a disaster area. I got to get everything to fit in 2 boxes. The previous 13 boxes, they're in California now, getting loaded on a container. Maybe they're already on the ship. I don't know. I haven't tracked it yet. So those have already shipped, and these last 2, they'll go on the next shipment. They'll be about a month behind. That's okay, because all this last minute stuff is things that I can live without. I could probably live without about half of the boxes that I sent over, but I didn't want to just throw it away. And I had gone through an estate sale company. They called me up. They says, we have a private buyer. The private buyer would like to buy everything, including furniture. And they named a price. And I go, that hurt. But if I want to sell everything myself, I would be here until September or October. And I don't want to be away from my family that long. So I bit the bullet. I says, okay. The estate sale husband and wife team, they will be here on Monday. They are going to start sorting through things. They will be here through the week. On Thursday, they'll have a crew come out, move everything out. I'll have a dumpster here. They're going to throw trash. And a lot of the stuff I've got is basically valueless to anybody. Not that I live in a pigsty. I really don't. It's a nice house. And I try to do what I can to keep it up. But right now it looks like something from a disaster movie. Because I'm packing, I'm going through things, I'm sorting things. I'm saying, oh, I need this. No, I don't need that. Yes, I need this. It's been a constant thing. I mean, until late at night. First thing when I get up, and most nights I'm not sleeping because my brain's going around and around thinking, what do I need? What do I don't need? Especially now that I'm down the last 2 boxes. But I've got a week to get them packed, so I can take my time, do some other things. Tomorrow, I am going out to get bids on my pickup truck. I'm not going to wait till the last minute and just assume. So if I have to, I'll spend the whole day shopping this thing out. Here in my town, in Salt Lake, everything. I'll go to 5, 6 different places if I have to. I'll find the best bid on that because it's got a lot of value. And I'm not going to let somebody undersell me. I may get really ripped on my Harley, and I've gotten ripped on a couple other things, but everything must go. And sometimes when you get in that situation, you're not going to get the best value. But here's where the controversy comes in. The media would lead you to believe that everything is rosy here in the U.S. Oh, we're doing so well. Cost of living is just peachy. Inflation, oh, just a little inflation, right? No. Anybody here in the United States that buys something right now, they're going to pay up here. They're going to pay out the nose. California just instituted a $20 an hour minimum wage for a burger flipper. Anybody that has any kind of sense knows that if you pay some freckle-faced kid $20 an hour, and he's never been in the workforce, or her, they're going to expect $30 an hour in later on. The economy can't take it. The economy is in the tank. Don't listen to the media. Every car lot I saw, full. Every motorcycle shop I saw, full. They cannot sell what they have. Nobody can afford to buy it. When I get ready to sell this house, I'm not going to take a loss. I will take time. If it takes me 6 months to sell this house, I'll do it. That's why we are going to rent. I don't like throwing money away on somebody else's property, because all I'm doing is paying off their property, making them money, and I'm not gaining anything. If it's my own house, I'm gaining equity, supposedly. Here in the U.S., that's been the way it works, but it's not working so well anymore. Guy down the street, he and his wife, they split up 8 months ago. There's still a for sale sign in his house. And his house is a lot less money than mine. It's half the size, but it's a lot less money. So I don't know how this is all going to turn out, but I'm not very optimistic for the future here in the U.S. And for those of you that are here and that are thinking about leaving and going to the Philippines, now would be a really good time, because, hey, prices are going up in the Philippines also. I'm looking at houses. 3 months ago, there's 5.2 million pesos, under 100,000. 5.6 million is roughly $100,000 US. That 5.2 house is now 5.5 million. It's gone up 300,000 pesos just in 3 months. Food is going up over there. You listen to some of my friends, Mike's Philippine Retirement, Paul in the Philippines, Old Dog New Tricks, James, who's on the Texas Filipino channel, and several others. I just calling them out because they come to mind first. Every one of them will tell you that it's getting more and more expensive to live in the Philippines, but no matter how expensive it gets to live there, it's getting more so here in the U.S. So hang on to your wealth, and hang on to whatever you can hang on to, because I see a bumpy road ahead, and I don't care what the media says. I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and with a former career in business world. Yeah, I haven't always driven truck. I used to be in the business world, and it just got to be so toxic. I says, I want to do something different. So I went and drove truck. Not that it was the greatest job in the world, but hey, I always had a job, and I didn't have people climbing over the top of my back just trying to get one more rung, but trying to poison me every time I turned around. So with a history in business and seeing things with my own eyes, it's not looking good. All right, I made this long enough. I'll catch you all later, and we'll see how this all pans out. Thanks for joining, guys. Leave me your comments. I really appreciate that. I get a lot of information from your comments. I get more stimulation on what I can drive for more content to help you out. Stay safe, beware, and if you try to buy a house in the Philippines, get a real estate attorney. Your own, not the seller's. Catch y'all later.